All right. Oops. So this question is asking, what is the multiplicative inverse? Okay, so another way that we can describe the multiplicative inverse, let me write that down. Multiplicative inverse, that's equivalent, or it's also called the reciprocal. Okay, so you might have heard it called the reciprocal instead. So basically what that is the product of a number and its, I'm going to write reciprocal, it's easier to write. So the product of a number and its reciprocal is always equal to 1. Okay, so if we have a number a and we multiply it by its reciprocal, oops, a, so reciprocal is you're flipping the numerator and denominator. So, you know, every integer is over 1, but you just obviously don't write the over 1 or the 1 in the denominator. You only write what's in the numerator. So here we have integer, and here we have its reciprocal, and this is always equal to 1 because essentially you can imagine it as canceling each other out, right? And you're left with, well, if you have 1 in the denominator here, you're left with 1 over 1, or just 1, right? So the product of a number and its reciprocal is always equal to 1. So let's look at an example here. So if we have an example asking us what is, this is an example here. So what is the multiplicative inverse? The multiplicative inverse of 1/4, or 1 over 4. Okay, that's the question. There we go. So if we're applying what I was talking about up here, I kind of messed it up a little bit with all this extra stuff. But okay, so if we have our 1 over 4, we have, well, we don't know what the multiplicative inverse is, or the reciprocal is, so I'm going to leave that as x, but we have 1 over 4 times, well, 1 over 4, we'll leave it as y, or sorry, as a instead of x, because we have the multiplication sign. I don't want you to get confused. So we have 1 over 4 times a is equal to 1, because we know that the regular integer and the multiplicative inverse, when they're multiplied, the product is always 1. So now we have to find what a is, or the multiplicative inverse. So all we have to do is multiply both sides by 4. So if we do that, we have this side times 4 and the right side times 4. You have distributing into the bracket. We have well, actually, I don't know why. This is, remember, a multiplication, so distribute it once into the bracket. Sorry about that. We just get 1 over 1 on this side, right? Or sorry, 4 over 4, which is just 1 on this side. I'll write out the whole thing. We get 4. Like I said, 4 over 4 is 1. So we get 8 is equal to 4. And if we write it in the full form up here, we have 1 over 4 times 4 is equal to 1. Okay, and we know that that makes sense. So this is our integer from the question. And this is the reciprocal. I'm going to call it reciprocal or multiplicative inverse. Am I spelling that right? I think so. Maybe with an O. Anyways, I think you get the idea. Yep. So we always get 1, so we know that that is correct. All right, and from there we're good to go on to the next question. So therefore, the multiplicative inverse of 1/4 is 4. So correct solution. All right, next question.